All right, my name's Rodney. This is my son Cody. He's going to be filming. We got an '08 Colorado. The code that's given is a secondary air injection solenoid control. This is right off. You want to go ahead and change the secondary air injection pump, but let's check the circuits first because that's the first thing we should do in every case. I've got a test light. We got the ignition on. One thing I want to show you first is with the ignition on, we go back, erase these codes, and before we ever start the vehicle, come up here in just a second. Our code comes back up. So, in thinking that this is going to code before you ever start the vehicle, it shouldn't. It shouldn't code until you take it down the road. This truck runs sluggish when you're going down, when you first take off in it, and after you get started, it runs really good. But to start out, and the gas mileage is horrible right now. So what we're going to try to do is diagnose this. We want to check our fuses first because our fuse could be blowed, could be giving us a problem. And if so, then we probably got a short somewhere in the wiring, somewhere going to the pump itself. So let's check. I've already done the research, and I already know that this is the fuse. And as you can see, one side is hot and one side isn't, which means that fuse is definitely blown. Now, if we put another fuse in it, which I've already tried, and it blew the fuse immediately just as soon as I turned the ignition on, it gives the code again, so therefore we know it's got a short somewhere in the wiring. So what you want to do is come around to your pump and unplug your pump. When you unplug it, put another fuse in. You can check it that way. If it blows the fuse immediately, then you know that it's not the pump itself. That's how we diagnosed this and knew it wasn't the pump. After we got to looking, the circuit for the pump also has the circuit for the oxygen sensor. So we got to looking at the oxygen sensor, and as you can see, we have a frayed wire right there. It was touching the engine block, shorting it out, blowing the fuse. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape this up. We're going to plug this back in. We got it off the engine block. We're going to put a fuse in. Let me get a fuse. We'll put a new fuse in. We'll come back over to the scan tool. We're going to erase these codes again. Ignition's still on. Code's still there. We're going to back out. Erase the codes. We're going to come back up, read the codes again. Give it a second. Your air pump code is gone now. So the fuse took care of the problem. The problem the cause of the problem, which was what we was looking for, was the short in the circuit going to the oxygen sensor, which caused us to be blowing the fuse going to the secondary air pump. Anytime there's a circuit that blows, it may not be the code that's coming up on your scan tool causing the issue. So you always want to make sure that you find out everything that's on that circuit going to that fuse. Therefore, you can diagnose your vehicle. We could have diagnosed this vehicle without a scan tool had we just took this, tested every fuse, seen the blowed fuse, replace it. When it blows it again without starting the vehicle, we would have known we had a short. We could have started tracing it back by unplugging each individual item that's on that circuit, and whatever stops it from blowing, that's where your issue is. So always remember, check your fuses first before you dive in and start buying parts.